my original plan.
Do original.
Okay, you got it, okay. Sorry, guys, I had to check on that. We'll find out later, I guess, what's going on.
It all will be revealed.
It shall all be revealed. Are you ready, Corky? Are you good?
I'm on.
Okay,
We're on. You're on.
I'm on? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, babe.
Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Yay!
Good? Is everybody feeling great?
Great.
It's okay if you're not. Is there anybody here that's not feeling super great right now? Because by the time you leave here today, you will be.
Yay! Awesome.
Tell it like it is.
I'm telling you like it is. I'm going to say hallelujah.
You tell him, sister.
Right here and right now. So normally this time of year, my topic would normally be Passover, because, you know, that's the time of year it is, and actually the 31st, I believe, is the first night of Passover. That would be the night that they would be holding a Seder. And so one of the things that I wanted to kind of do was sort of bring Passover into today's world, okay? Because, I mean, what was going on, right, in the times of Moses? It was the Exodus, was it not? I mean, isn't that what happened? So at the times of Moses, the Jewish people became enslaved. Well, all of us become enslaved, all the time in our lives, right? And the enslavement was not their choice at the time, but God came to Moses and led him and how to lead the people to freedom. And Moses had a choice. He could have listened to that guidance. He could have listened to that higher energy. He could have listened to what he was requested to do, or he could have said no. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to live with the fact that I've been enslaved. Obviously, I'm a lesser person. Maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe our people don't deserve this. But he woke up and he said, no, this isn't right. Nobody should be enslaved. And you know, people talk a lot about the 10 curses that came upon the Egyptians. Really, in my sense of and my feeling of it is more, when we don't listen to our guidance, we get into dis-ease. When things are not going as well as they could be, we get into dis-ease. And what dis-ease does is it knocks down our energy. It knocks down who we are. And God led people to freedom, not by saying the Egyptians were bad. The Egyptians had to make a choice. They had to do their own changes, right? But all of us have a choice to change our world today. And, you know, so I looked up the metaphysical meaning of Passover, and a lot of it has to do with overcoming burdens, moving from the human world into your spiritual energy. We all have circumstances in life, and what a lot of today's talk about is going to be about change. Because, as my topic is, you have the power to change your world. And it has a lot to do with not necessarily changing the actual circumstance, except maybe just changing your attitude. There's been a lot of change, a lot of loss in my world recently, a lot of things happening at once. I lost my older brother, my parents, all three of them are very ill, and they all have something different going on. My other siblings are struggling to keep up with them, and then I came back from the holidays and found out I have a new boss, and is always a lovely person. He has a style that's so different than mine, and I was placed in the hugest amount of discomfort that I've ever been placed in. Discomfort not just from the fact that now I'm the eldest sibling, but now I've got a new job. Like my whole job, really, the structure of it is changing. What I've been doing is basically being down and being the busy bee, and now I have to be up here and be the management and the leadership that I am extremely uncomfortable with. It's taking me way out of my comfort zone. And I don't know a single person out here that has not been moved out of their comfort zone. But if I stay stagnant and I try to stay where I'm at, I have a few things that could happen. My new management might decide, hey, you know, she's not living up to what she's supposed to be, so we either demote her or we move her someplace else, or we actually have to let her go. And I happen to love the company that I work for. I've been there almost 20 years. And I want to love my job again. So I have to make that choice. I made that choice. I am making that choice right now. And what happened because of that illness? Oh my gosh, I got so sick. I know a lot of you saw me when I broke out with a rash everywhere. I just couldn't figure out what the heck was going on in my life and where I was going. And there was so much sense of negativity going on around me. And then I realized it wasn't going on. I mean, it is going on around me, but it's because I've decided to allow it to enter into me. I decided it was okay if I absorbed all that negativity, because after all, I'm an empath and I should be feeling everybody's pain, right?
No.
No. Love
It
yourself.
doesn't work like that? Oh, okay. Are you sure? Okay. So, so I was kind of stuck in the shadows, and we all know that life is a series of, and everything is light and shadow, right? But what we want to look at is what is the balance? How do we find that balance? Sometimes we are just like, woo, here we are in the light. And sometimes we're like, oh, wow, I'm really in the shadows today. But what we really want to recognize is that we can feel a little bit down and we can still bring ourselves back up. We can feel up and we can calm ourselves down. So we don't need to get too manic, we don't need to get too crazy, but we have a way to do that. So everything that you do, you're a small part of the whole. I mean, like Dolly was talking about, you are one of the raindrops, okay? You are a part of the light. Remember the little soul in the sun. We all know that each and every one of us is a part of that light. We're a part of the whole. We're a part of the one. So as being part of that one, we have to recognize that we are living what we choose to live. Okay, so let's put it this way. If your parents came to you and they said, I want you to be a doctor. You're going to be a doctor because your father is a doctor, your grandfather's a doctor, his father before him was a doctor, and doctors run in this family. And you are standing there with your guitar in hand, and you're writing songs, and you're saying, I don't want to be a doctor. What do?
You follow your heart.
Do you follow what you feel? Exactly, you follow your heart. The question that comes up quite frequently, and how many people say, I have to do this. My family has always been this way.
So,
We have to do this, I must keep the tradition.
Tradition.
yeah, but
Tradition!
there's-
Dottie's singing. But how does that make you feel? Do you feel as though you've lost your own spirit?
No, I feel boxed in.
And boxed in, very good, yeah, David, exactly.
Great way to make yourself sick.
And that's where the word dis-ease comes from, because you're gonna live in a lot of dis-ease. And what's that gonna do? It's gonna manifest into the physical. So, for example, we're already talking an example here. You can become very, very, very ill. So sick you can't get to work the next day.
Oh, yes.
You can be so depressed that nothing helps. Drugs don't help. Alcohol doesn't help. That doesn't make it any better. You don't want anything that's going to do anything that's going to make it worse, right? So what happens is you get sicker and sicker and sicker until there's nothing left of you. Or you make a choice. And my choice is to change my attitude. Can't change what's happening right now. Got to change my attitude. I think that's one of the things that's in here. I was going to pass these all around, but I thought, I'll just grab a few here and then we'll read them. Change is important. If we don't change, we remain stagnant.
Exactly.
And in remaining stagnant, you might be in a comfort zone right now, but there's no growth. There's no new opportunity. There's really no joy, because it's just the same old, right? You can sort of live in joy for a while with that, but do you really want to stay in that place forever? Or do you want to change? So everything that you do, and it doesn't matter where it comes from, you are part of the whole. So as you are improving yourself, and you are being more loving to yourself and more loving to others, and you see the world as a place that can change and be happy, regardless of what's going on around us, your little place is going to hold that place which is going to echo out to others. It's as simple as smiling at somebody when they're having a bad day. You might think you're not doing much, but one of the quotes that I brought here with me says this: do not underestimate the power of your vision to change the world. Whether that world is your office, your community, an industry, or a global movement, what you need is a core belief that what you contribute can fundamentally change the paradigm or way of thinking about your problems. A gentleman named Leroy Hood said that. So in other words, when people talk about change the world, what happens when I say to you, you can change the world? How many people go, not me. I'm just this little thing. I don't do anything. Nothing I do has any effect on anybody else. That's not true.
Or everybody hates me.
Or everybody hates me.
Yeah.
Or who cares anyway? Or why would anybody think that? You know, that I'm worth anything, and that just makes it so that it's worse. So you're living inside like this. Would you rather live like this? Would you rather live like this? Okay. So, you know, it's everywhere. Corey's going, ta-da!
Out there.
Out there, yeah. I think that a lot of us would rather be out there. You know, I have two friends, and both of them are dealing with very heavy-duty, life-threatening situations in their lives. They are not situations, but illnesses. And neither one of them is on disability. Neither one of them is saying, I give in, I can't do. They are living, they are thriving, they're enjoying their lives, they're doing their bucket lists, they're changing their diets, they're doing whatever it takes to make them feel good. And, you know, and whether this illness that they have is eventually their demise, it doesn't matter because they're living right here and right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, one of my friends has been a huge inspiration for me when it comes to the idea of food and diet, you know, because, you know, that's been a huge challenge for me, facing some health issues in my life as well. And I've made some choices and decisions. And when people say to me, you should try this, or you should do that, I tend to say, no, I don't have to, and I shouldn't do anything. I ask people not to should on me.
Yes.
Now, you can say to me, you might want to try this, it did this for me, it helped me here, or you might want to do that, but I never say you should, okay? Or I try not to say you should, especially to myself. So, what's a comfort food, for example, for you, Eileen, may not be the same comfort food for me, okay? Bacon, so for Eileen, well, okay, bacon, all right. But see, for me, I have to eat paleo bacon, okay, because it has no sugar added to it. But it tastes just as delicious, and I wish to heavens I could find, you know, more paleo bacon out there in the world, because I do love bacon too. But what's a comfort food to one person isn't necessarily going to be a comfort food to another person. What's comfortable, you know, some people love to wear wool. Other people itch when they wear wool, you know. So does that make, because it's right for them, right for you? No. But does it make it wrong for them?
No.
Absolutely not. That's the most important thing, in my opinion, to always remember about, you know, the idea of changing your world, is that it's you, and you are most important. I believe in the Holy Trinity: spirit, mind, and body. When you are low in spirit, your mind has negative energy and negative thoughts that run through it a lot, and it reflects in your body. It all ties together. When you are in a loving spirit and feeling joyous, and you are giving love and energy to yourself, then your mind is speaking more positive thoughts, and the end result is your body feels good. You want to take care of yourself. You want to stick to your food plan. You want to, you know, do the different things because, darn, it feels good to be here. You can change whatever you choose. The important thing is to hold on to your faith. Because when you lose your faith, then you've moved permanently into shadow. And it's faith that pulls us through. So I'd like to kind of read you a few of these fun little quotes that I found regarding change. This one comes last. So I cannot say whether things will get better if we change, but what I can say is if we change, they are to get better. So let's see. I cannot say whether things will get better if we change. What I can say is they must change if they are to get better. Thank you. Thank you, mouth, for working.
Who said that, Ann?
That is George C. Lichtenberg.
Well, good for George.
Yeah. Oh, I love this one. This is Mother Teresa. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create the many ripples. I know you all have heard me say this before. We are but a stone, and we do create ripples. We are a community that's a huge ripple. Do we all believe exactly the same thing? No, but we're in honoring of one another. And we can change how we feel. We don't have to say, oh, that's stupid. We can say, oh, that doesn't work for me. But I honor it in you. I honor it in you. I honor it in you. You can never change things by fighting the existing reality. Don't fight. Surrender. Give into your love. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. R. Buckmeister Fuller.
Okay.
Okay, change your thoughts and change your world. Norman Vincent Peale. What a simple, simple thought. And as we all sit here today and we go, you know, this is really very easy stuff, but really it's not as easy as it is, it's very simple stuff. The attitudes are very simple to have. Living in them was not always easy. We have outside circumstances. We have things that appear to be very sad, very negative, very, harmful to our spirit. There's days I miss my brother, tremendously. And I think about, the fact we were practically twins, and how much he could teach me, and he could also keep me in a sense of humor for a lot of things. Like when we were both struggling over mom struggles or any other struggles in the world, he always had something to say that would make me laugh. And I liked that about him, loved that about him, and I loved the music that he brought into my life. So I did allow some change because of him, and I do miss that energy, but I know that his love is still here. He's off doing whatever he's doing out there in the ethers, but his love is still here because it doesn't change. I don't need him to come and talk to me or visit me all the time because I know he's around, Oh, here's something from JFK. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. Right? I want you to always be a high vibration. Okay, so being a high vibration, again, doesn't mean that you can't be in shadow on occasion. But if you can find that smile behind your tears, if you can open up your eyes and your heart enough, you can have the power to change your world. And let's see. Oh, I love this one. My friend Sue posted this one on Facebook yesterday, and I said, I'm stealing it. If you do not change direction, you may end up right where you're heading. That's Lao Tzu. And here's my favorite changed quote that my favorite John Anderson wrote. And I actually had him paint this for me. I commissioned him to paint it for my 40th birthday. There are his lyrics, and so I'm going to have to sing it because it's the only way to do that, right? So, How can I tell you what to be when you're the best judge of yourself? You hold a power so unique. You have the power to change your world. Isn't that the truth?
Mhm.
Change is uncomfortable. But if we embrace change and we open ourselves up to that change, we do have the power to change the world. And we want to be the change that we wish to see in this world. So originally, because I was planning this talk, I had asked Rev Sean if he would be willing to sing for us, and he thought he was going to be gone. And don't turn it off, Corbin, because we are going to play it.
No, I'm sure.
Okay, and he thought he was going to be gone this weekend, but it turned out he came home, and I just know that's why I held up a little bit. He's not prepped, so I'm prepped. I brought a CD. So I just want to know, want you all to know that. As we go through change, sometimes we might seem a little uncomfortable with others or a little uncomfortable with ourselves. Just keep loving us, keep loving each other, keep loving me, keep loving you. And guess what? We're all gonna be okay. And be the change you wanna see in this world. So I'm gonna close my talk right now, and Corky's gonna turn on the music. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
That's not the line.
Well, you might want to change it.
You wanna change that?
Try this one. I thought that sounded familiar.
Yeah. That's not it either.
I've only got 3 things in here.
Well, it must be the third one then.
Okay, let's try that one.
Corky, that's life.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Things are always changing. There it is.
There it is.
Centrifugal motion.
That sounds like Sean.
We go round and round.
Reverend Sean, everyone.
Hey.
Needs to change.
You could lip sync, Sean.
Sounds just like it.
Peace flies with the west. Each side is thinking they know what's best. I'm not saying that I know what's right. In the story has its 2 sides. I'm inspired by those who have stood for a cause. Some have died, feeding the helpless with pride. Let the words be the change you want to see in the world. Time is a window, time on the shore, with the rivers of life are converging. Every grain of sand is a woman or a man whose common history is merging. Change is the constant on which we can rely. On the river we learn that the current is strong, they will drown you if you don't start swimming. Blessed are the few who will teach you how to swim and can guide you through the rapid churning. They ease us through changes, supporting our lives. There's a fight right and break from the silence and speak the words, be the change you want to see in the world. As I write, the fire is burning inside. It's shining bright, illuminating my mind with the words, be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Okay, so that brought up just a few more words. Sean, thank you for letting us share your song.
Sean, can you come up and take a bow?
And no, not for it.
Not yet. Come on.
Hit the off button.
That's why I love it.
So by being the change that you want to see in the world, that makes you that ripple, that pebble. Make it happen.
The kids yesterday.
Yes, at the march, that's what I was gonna say also, I forgot to mention that, at the march yesterday, and it wasn't just kids. It was adults, it was people of all races, all religions, all types of people getting together. Now, if you didn't go, there's nothing to feel bad for. Your energy, your thoughts, your love, your support was there. And that's what I mean. You don't have to be in the middle of it. You can be the change within yourself, and that helps to change the world.
Yay, okay.